No buffer time on this show. Welcome back to another bonus edition of A Strange New Pod. I'm in the captain's chair again this week, joined as always by my co-hosts Erik, Brittany, and Hawk. And why am I in the captain's chair again this week? Well, we're joined by my dear, dear friend for many, many years now. We've served on many starships together. Simon Sager, welcome to A Strange New Pod.
Greetings and felicitations.
Yay!
And then welcome back, you guys. How are we doing? How was your lower decks this Thursday?
It was wonderful.
Yeah,
lots of crystals and
so many
other
crystals.
such stuff. No wood, though. No wood.
No wood. No wood. In so many different ways, no wood.
No one would believe it.
No, no, they wouldn't. As always, a big thank you to Sam Dillard and Samo Studios for our intro music. And also, we do post this late at night. And if you're listening at, midnight or even, 9 p.m. Pacific, doing a little nightcap before you head to bed, which we definitely thank you for, head over to logicalcoffee.com and use the code A Strange New Pod to get 20% off your first order. You won't regret it. Their coffee is out of this world, like Brittany says in her promo. It's delicious. I'm drinking the Vulcan Mind right now. It's probably my new favorite. Nice chocolatey and earthy notes. So get your hands on some of that. These are pretty fast episodes, so we're going to get right to it. Before we get into Temporal Edict, Simon, we have to kind of put you on the hot captain's chair here. Your favorite Star Trek, your favorite episode, and your favorite character.
This is not an easy question.
I know. You
at
had
all.
2 hours to prepare, though.
All right. Well, this is tough. I can't. The favorite Trek is. Are we talking like movies or series?
Any series, movie, anything.
All right. I'm torn between like the original series, like wackiness and just everything was new then, and then Deep Space Nine's just fantastic storytelling and everything was tied together, and you care. There's a lot of like character development and stuff like that. So
that's what the D stands for.
Probably,
Development Space Nine.
Exactly. Probably Development Space Nine was my favorite. Episode. There's too many to choose from, so I'm gonna pick a weird one for y'all. The Royale.
Oh, is that the one?
Wow.
The pocket dimension with the casino.
Yeah, exactly.
Casino
there's
Royale.
some really good GIFable data in it because he's at the craps table.
Baby needs a new pair of shoes.
That's right. That's exactly it. But that was always a cool one because it was this weird blend of like original series zaniness, but like the sort of, I don't want to say stoic, but the very intentional and cerebral sort of next generation stuff. So favorite character. All right. I was tempted to say like Garrick or Ducat.
Cardassians, I like it.
Wow.
I'm going to say Geordi because he's the Wesley we wish we had.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go Geordi at the end of every episode. I just kind of flip it,
He's just a better Wesley.
He's the Wesley we deserved.
Oh, boy.
If you're out there, LeVar, we love you. We know he's still out there. He tweets amazing things.
Always and forever. Yes.
I can't not say it. For like a Halloween as a child, I went as Geordi LaForge.
Yep. Same.
Did you make yourself a visor?
Yeah. It was like one of those like thin glasses things that made everything like sparkly, but I took toothpicks and glued them across the front of it and made the whole thing gold.
You should have just went with the hairband.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The way they did it.
There were a lot of hairbands that looked exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Well, Simon, those are good answers. It didn't take you too long, so that's good. I forgot to put this week's episode synopsis in the in our notes here because I was having a no buffer time moment, but I did just put it in our messenger. So who wants to read our episode synopsis this week? Brittany.
There's only part of it on there.
Really?
Yeah. It stops after mutual lack.
I mean, that sums up the show, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can I just say what I really love about Star Trek is you go from like Chris Pine to crystals, and then you go from Captain's Logs to like Etherwood. It's just
Logs
incredible.
of fertility.
Logs of fertility. Yeah. So Star Trek is just such an all-encompassing, interesting franchise. So
We're doing a really good job stalling while I get this synopsis back up.
I am stalling like the ship in the beginning of the show when Ransom realizes he fucked up, and he's like, "Ooh, the captain will not like this news." And he's like,
yada yada yada.
Like they went from like warp 4 to like, can you negative warp? Because that's what it felt like.
All right, the full synopsis should be in the chat. Who wants it?
I got it.
Eric's got it.
All right. Temporal Edict, the third episode of season 1 of Lower Decks. A new work protocol eliminating buffer time has the Lower Decks crew running ragged as they try to keep up with their Titan schedules. Ensign Mariner and Commander Ransom's mutual lack of respect come to a head during an away mission.
Mm-hmm.
Mutual not respect, not for very long.
There's some sort of mutual something.
Mutual may have a little meeting in the brig later type of thing. We'll see.
The brig is her favorite place, so
it is her favorite
place. Can you blame
place.
her?
Nope. Speaking of Mariner and Boimler, who we haven't really talked about quite yet, the past few episodes have really kind of focused on them. But this week, the man, Jerry O'Connell, got to really shine as Commander Jack Ransom this week. You could even say he got his Kirk on.
And his Riker on, man. It's just
all this,
so close.
The one leg up stuff everywhere.
Oh my God, yes.
It was very apparent during the fight, just because of one stance. Double fist.
Yep. Oh, wait, double fist, double fist, double fist. It's that Kirk Fu everybody's practicing.
Kirk versus the Gorn.
And obviously the shirt getting torn off away.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Kirk glisten way. That would happen, like the occasional oily muscles that would go in and out.
The only thing that was missing was like the grapple and the roll back over where he like throws somebody. Like, where was that?
He was just so big though, right?
He was so oily and there was sand, it wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah, sand gets everywhere. Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, the Riker pose
and
got me so
rashes.
much. It does. Ooh, rashes. I hate sand. It's so sandy.
I think the biggest
Star Wars
difference
burn.
between Kirk and Ransom here was I think Kirk wouldn't be afraid to use a weapon, but Simon, what did you think about Ransom kind of getting the spotlight on Lower Decks this week?
It's good. I mean, like, we haven't really had too much introduction to any of the bridge crew, so much as just like brief little stints of like the Lower Decks people like interacting with them here and there. This was kind of a cool like highlight outside of the captain, I would say.
Yeah. How about you guys?
I think it was
he
like
knew how to Riker pose.
Shut up, Wesley.
Vogue. Star Trek Vogue like this.
What? I think after last week's little introduction on the holodeck, it was like the perfect continuation of his character. Like it was just like you got the ridiculousness there, and then you get it fully on an away mission.
I really liked that after his bullying ensign got stabbed and they're taking cover against all the spears. Again, like why they don't have phasers out is a little like, what's going on here? Doesn't matter. But the fact that he says, I really hate it when this happens. Like it's not the first time.
I mean, Second Contact, I'm sure it happens quite often where they're like, hey, you guys got along with the first contact group. How about us? And they're just like immediately start a war. And you're like, I don't know what we did this time.
It sort of reminds me of the beginning of Star Trek Beyond when Kirk is trying to make, peace with that little roly alien. And it just goes awry after, trying to give them a gift as well. It's just like, nope.
Also loses his shirt.
Yeah, the Kirk way.
Loses his shirt, loses his shit.
Oh, man.
That's what Star Trek does.
I did love the reference to Cardassia Prime, though I'm not entirely sure what the captain was talking about with like learning, like yelling Cardassian greetings and everything. The Cardassians aren't very yelly.
She referred to it as barking Cardassian small talk.
Yeah, the Cardassians don't really bark. I would actually say that Cardassians are more on the eloquent side of when they speak. At least Ducat was.
They're the fancy space Nazis.
I'd agree that they could,
twisted.
But they could definitely, creep everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Not if you're a simple tailor, though.
Oh, man.
You're just a tailor,
Mm-hmm. Garrick and Julian, the ship that never happened. The ship that never sailed.
The Bashir audacity of it all.
Yeah, the sheer fucking
shears.
Even better.
Oh man. Meanwhile, on board the Cerritos, Captain Freeman is less than thrilled with the crew's performance because, see, you know, like she's just pissed off that they don't get to go to Cardassia Prime and do something important. So she kind of takes it down, takes it, you know, out on the ensigns and the lower deck ensigns especially, overworks them a la Captain Jellicoe during Chain of Command. There's a lot of Chain of Command references in this episode, subtle ones, but enough. And then ends up actually overworking herself because her bridge crew's exhausted and not doing anything. Did you guys get the Chain of Command references? Was this a nice little throwback?
Yeah.
For me, it was a throwback to TNG season 6, episode 4, Relics. The episode with Scotty. Because that whole wisdom in that about, you know, doubling the time of everything it takes to get, you know, one maintenance check done. That was him advising Geordi.
That's true. That's true. There was a reference to Delta Shift, which is, I think, like what Jellicoe was trying to get Riker to do, and Riker was like, "I'm not doing a Delta Shift. That's not happening." And then he just freaking confines him to quarters.
I love when Tendy's like, and they're better than us.
Yeah, right.
Because they are better than us.
What's one less margarita gonna do?
Oh.
Exactly. I think the exhaustion in general, like, there's so many Star Trek episodes that, like, that happens where it's not necessarily just the commander being like, oh, you guys need to, you know, get up to speed. Like we're seeing that at an extreme. But you have like Year of Hell where literally it's just like everybody's running on empty because like time, like they don't have enough time. They're like barely surviving. So you've seen that before where it's down to like the captain's just trying to make things work and whoever's left is just exhausted from pulling all these like triple shifts. So I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting you mentioned the exhaustion thing. I rewatched it a few times and I noticed like a few of the characters, Boimler, Mariner, and Ransom, and I think at like points, Shax's, none of them had bags under their eyes. Everybody else did, but they were like the only characters that were like keeping it up.
They had plot armor stamina.
Right.
Well,
But then when it was really fitting, they didn't.
Boimler was in his element this week.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, he was a guy. You know, this is exactly the kind of shift like he loves working. His little song about purging.
Dude,
was brilliant.
that was a great part. During that part, my brother was like, wow, why is Boimler you? Because whenever I have like so many tasks to do, I'm just like, I love doing this. I'm going to do it great. And then I just like move on to 8 other things.
That goes back to Data singing the song, right?
Yeah.
Life forms oriented into life.
Exactly.
Where are you?
That's how you know a Star Trek character is really enjoying their job. A slight song or a hum will be involved.
Did you guys notice that during like the kind of like the beginnings of them like freaking out and he's walking with the pad, the violin song that he played during the cold open was playing in the background?
Was it Requiem for a Hug?
No, it was the one.
That made me
The
laugh.
first one.
Yeah.
Oh, the one for his mom.
Yeah, the one for his mom. Requiem for a Hug was also going to be about his mom.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a very interesting reference. I'm just like, Requiem for a Dream keeps like coming up in all of our conversation this week.
Yeah,
I don't want to think about it, but it's weird.
That cold open was pretty funny. I kind of wish we had more of that Klingon bird of prey, but no joy. No joy. I'm guessing the Klingons will show back up later.
I feel like the cold opens are becoming my favorite part of every episode. It's like how you go to see a James Bond movie, and for me, it's like if the song in the opening sequence, like if it's really good, then I'm like, this is my film. If it doesn't get me, then I'm like, this film's going to be terrible. So
Communications officer, today you die.
That's so great. That bass. Are you trying to mock me? Well, you think they would like rock a little bit, you know,
Well,
just
dude,
like
Klingon opera is not soft music.
No,
Yeah.
I thought they would like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gotta love like angry Tendi on the drums.
Yes.
Man,
that was so great.
immediate total GIF moment there. That'll be in GIF form for generations and generations. Just like Boimler and his plaque.
I wonder if we can call her like Tendacious T or something. Tendacious
Oh,
T.
Lord.
Like Tenacious
Oh,
T.
Lord.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Speaking of Tendi and Rutherford, they're kind of put on the back burner this week. Rutherford got a lot of the focus last week, but this is kind of 2 episodes where Tendi not really in the picture, which is a little sad because I think we all love her character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's still giving everything her all, the drums, the calibrations or whatever, trying to remember where sickbay is.
Dude, that I cracked up. She's like, wait, there's that many decks? And I'm like, oh my God, how tired are you?
Was that a joke to, was that kind of a reference to the hardcore Star Trek nerds out there who like notice the discrepancies between how many decks the Enterprise E is? I feel like that was like
every movie is different.
Yeah, every movie was like, wait, there's 47 decks now? Wait, there's 48? How many decks are on this ship?
Or you're like, I thought sick bay was 26, and then someone's like, no, it's 32 now, and you're like, it moved 12 floors since the last movie? What is happening?
I liked when Rutherford was working on something and Tendi came up and it was almost like a throwback to the zombie first episode. She's like Rutherford.
Turns Tendi right into a zombie working that hard.
Yeah. Sad though not to get to see her a little bit more in this episode. We get to the end and you get the whole Kirk versus big guy. I called him Kirk because he was so Kirk in this episode.
He was.
Ransom versus what was his name? The big dude.
Vindor?
Vindor.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a V.
I like
Vindor likes to read.
I can say more, but I have to pretend to be stupid and dumb. I like to read.
Let's talk about maybe a budding romance between Ransom and Mariner.
Whatever it is, I'm here for it. I didn't expect it, but I was like, this is interesting. It's such a weird dynamic and like a weird tension that even if they never pursue it in the show, it'll always be there. It's going to be like a Chakotay Janeway thing, but not full of respect. Like the exact opposite of whatever Chakotay and Janeway have. So yeah, I was like, I don't know if I want to ship them. Like, I want them to make out or like murder each other or both.
I mean, it could be both. That's not going to be, I don't think that's going to be like.
This is Lower Decks. Both can happen.
It's not going to be softcore porn, I don't think.
Yeah. When he stabbed her in the foot, I was like,
yeah,
this is a love letter.
He'll just end up in the holodeck program. That's all.
Is she scrubbing out her own holodeck program next week is the question.
It'll be incredibly detailed.
From the Olympic training room.
She's like, no, we're keeping this one. If they're still going to be nude.
Let's talk about some Easter eggs real quick because there were a ton of Easter eggs and references. What did anybody pick up that we haven't talked about yet?
The very last one.
Oh, go ahead.
Boimler experiences a Zephyrin Cochrane moment at the end of the episode. I don't know if everybody caught that reference in that, where the legend doesn't quite live up to the actual story.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he gets a holographic statue.
And the plaque. Oh my gosh. It's the very last one, the big reveal after his statue. That's the one where I was like, no way, this show's amazing. So I don't want to reveal it ahead of time. You guys can in due time.
No,
go for it, man.
Spoilers.
Okay, Miles fucking
show.
O'Brien, man. O'Brien. I was
That's
like,
the only way to introduce that man. Not Miles O'Brien. Miles fucking O'Brien.
And I like how they're like, Boimler, yeah, he was super important to Starfleet. He was, the slacker, and it caused this whole like Boimler effect. And then she's like, but now we're going to talk about quite possibly the most important person in Starfleet or Federation history, possibly the history of the universe. And it's just like Miles O'Brien. And I'm like,
and he's at the transporter console.
Yeah, it's not even DC-9 Miles. It's TNG like, Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the
I love him.
So when Mariner, that one dude who gets stabbed by the spear, and she says, no one ever dies by a spear wound. Didn't someone die in TOS from a spear?
Yeah, I think that's the joke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, she's like, we're on a spaceship. No one's going to die from a spear wound. She rips, because she never wears her sleeve, she rips her sleeve off and does it. And I'm just like, I fucking love Mariner. Oh my God. Every episode, I'm like, I love her. She's great.
You got to also love the straight up, she just says it. What am I, Kirk? Is this the 2290s? Like, what's going on?
She's like, what is going on here? Spears?
I think this is, go ahead, Eric.
Oh no, the one other little Easter egg, I don't know if you guys noticed, was during the fight between Ransom and the big dude, they used clips from Amok Time.
Yes, they did.
The music,
Yeah.
which is amazing. And a couple other ones. I couldn't really tell what it was, though.
There's some other musical things I noticed. When the guy blows the horn and the spear fight starts breaking out, there's a lot of musical relationship between that and some of the original Next Generation Borg fights.
Yes.
Yep. I believe it. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times the music will make me feel that way, where I'm like, this is something.
The minute they started throwing the spears and they get for cover, like I'm like, oh, this is TNG. This music. It was very good. It was very reminiscent. I was is it James Chataway or Jim Chataway who did the music for TNG? I forget his name. I think it was something Chataway.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. Not Chakotay.
Yeah, I was gonna make that joke.
There's also another big reference because Boimler had the eagle on his thing, and the teacher mentions the great bird of the galaxy. Yeah. They timed it perfectly because it was just Gene Roddenberry. It would have been his 99th birthday or 90th birthday, one of those. So the great bird of the galaxy is Gene Roddenberry. Yeah, I think we mentioned it off mic. Boimler humming the TNG theme in the turbo lift.
That was so great.
Yep. Did we pick up anything else, or was that it for Easter eggs?
I feel like there's always a lot that goes on in the background. So I usually get more on the second watch. I was only able to watch it once today. But I did see Smiley Vulcan dude showed up again, but he wasn't so smiley. Yeah, he was back to normal. So I was like, interesting.
I wouldn't call this like an Easter egg, but I noticed there was like a Borg implant child in the classroom in the future.
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the Ferengi. Yep. They were little Ferengi guys. It's like, oh.
Give us your profit.
Give us our profit.
It's so funny that there's people out there that think we like really profit off of podcasts.
Oh, you know
yeah. I mean? Like, some people are like, how much money do you make?
Are we going?
No, I was just going to say, so like they're kind of like Ferengi. They're always like, but where's your profits? Are you profiting from talking about Lower Decks? I'm like, we're not. We just love it.
If we're getting paid, I'd really like to see the money if possible.
I would like to upgrade my microphone. That would be nice.
Just something, because I'm not seeing any money from this. So
just like the future of Star Trek, money isn't needed,
No.
That's where our pod's at. We're that
that
far ahead.
We just love Star Trek.
Speak for yourself. I need gold press latinum.
Exactly.
Profit.
34th rule of acquisition states.
You've been hanging around Quark too long, my friend. Too long. I think the last Easter egg is just the cold open, right? Because how many times was there a concert in TNG, right? In 10 Forward. I love that they just did that little callback. No one ever played a guitar and drums though. So
no.
Riker was always hitting that trombone a little too hard.
And Data in the violin.
But so much music playing. Yep. So much.
As far as how we felt about this episode, I'm just going to read two quick. We didn't get that much mailbag this week. We did it kind of quickly. So we had Nation Trek say it was amazing. I believe, yes. And then AE Multiverse, which is a fellow podcast, they're just starting up. They said it was awesome. How about you guys? What did you guys think overall? Comparing it to the past 2 weeks, how did episode 3 stack up?
I liked it. It's not my favorite. I think the last episode is still my favorite one. But I give it a solid, internet ruling of 7 out of 8.
Yeah, I thought it was like a solid episode. It just wasn't quite as memorable as the last two, but I really like some of like the character related choices in this one. So like I liked seeing more Ransom because especially after last episode, which made me like laugh out loud a lot. This one I laughed a little bit at like more so at like, oh, I get that reference. But seeing Ransom in that episode, you're like, dude, I need to see more of this guy. Mm-hmm. And I liked everything I saw. He's like a weird mixture of Kirk and Riker.
Yep.
And like the fact that he double fist fought and then like was doing a soliloquy in the middle of it, or like his little like declaration, because he wanted to do that at first and be like,
appreciate your values.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Like it was insane. So yeah, I love just the absolute shenanigans of the show. So I'm just gonna keep watching.
First of all, there's a missed opportunity to say 7 out of 9, but anyway.
Yeah. I went with the meme one. I should have done the Star Trek one though. Damn.
I liked it. It was less in the laughs and more in like the development of a couple of characters that we hadn't seen too much of. So I thought it was cool. I liked it a lot. It probably, again, wasn't my favorite, but it also seemed like the one that had the most like story to it and not just random shenanigans. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for more.
Right, exactly.
I'm loving this whole thing.
I always get sad when the episode ends because I'm like, oh man, I forget how short these are.
It's like 25 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sad that the promo image of the whale, your background, was not actually in this episode.
I know. I was going to point that out. I was waiting for it. It's going to be like the very last episode of the season or something.
I wonder if they're doing that. They're just mix and matching in the promos, like what's in what, which is a little sad.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is because they just say like later in Lower Decks, but it'll be like the whole season. So they just pick moments. Because this like part where they throw the spears, they showed before, and we thought it was going to be the same as the episode with the Klingon ambassador. Mm-hmm. I just like being surprised. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. I actually meant the promo images that they released last week.
Oh,
They're like, next week. And I was like, okay, they didn't actually.
Yeah, not a single space whale in sight.
And Hawk, what do you think about this week?
I think I like this a little better than you guys in that. I found it pretty strong. I was glad they explored Ransom more. And I was a little worried Ransom might turn into sort of a Zap Brannigan kind of character on the show. But I think, he has the potential there, like no doubt. But, I think it showed some different sides of him in that. I like this new relationship that could be heading between him and Mariner. So I'm definitely in for this week. This week, yeah, I give it a solid 8.
Nice.
I have a question. Was Ransom's beard a little bit darker this week? Like, is he growing a Riker beard? Is this where we're headed?
If it is, I'm in for it all the way.
It'd be amazing if they kind of slowly,
Yeah. Next thing you know, it's like every number one grows a beard at some point.
Even Rebecca Romaine.
Hey.
No. I'm going to give it I think I'm with Erik. I think last week's was my favorite. I love that. Everything about last week's episode. I will give this 2 out of 4 of the Stargazers warp nacelles.
Very fancy.
Yep. So there you go.
I also realized that I screwed up my meme. It's 5 out of 7, not 7 out of 8. So
it's like you were so close to 7 of 9.
I know. I should have just went with the 7 of 9. Damn it.
You still excited heading into next week? I'm excited for episode 4. I'm ready for some mama daughter tension there.
Yes.
Between Mariner and the captain.
Definitely.
It's coming.
I need something to happen with this captain. She's driving me nuts though. Like she has to have been punished to be on this ship. Like she's not having a time and she's not a great captain.
No, she's not.
Yeah. I assume she wanted to be on like one of the more adventurous ships instead of an engineering ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's like, the Enterprise gets to do this all the time.
Yeah, it's not the first time the Enterprise I think she's jealous of the Enterprise. I mean, I think everyone in Starfleet is probably jealous of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She learned the dance. She learned how to bark out small talk.
Maybe that's the problem. She was going about talking to the Cardassians the wrong way. That's a delicate race to deal with.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with them.
Yeah. Yep.
Keeping up with
the Cardassians.
Not giving you the satisfaction.
Red alert! All hands to battle stations.
Incredible.
Oh, you beat Brittany to it. I love it. All right. Well, Simon, you are our guest, so I will give you, sir, the final word. Anything that you want to touch on before we head out?
Oh, man, that's a lot of pressure.
It is. That's why I do it.
No, I don't have anything other than thank you for letting me be here and enjoying this ridiculous podcast.
I'm glad you were able to join us, man. And we have to have you on again tomorrow or today. If you're listening today, if you've just wrapped up listening to this episode, go listen to our big undiscovered country rundown. We just did that episode. It's a lot of fun. We quote a lot of Klingon Shakespeare. So you could listen to this and go right to listen to that out right now. Both episodes are available. That's going to do it for this week's bonus pod. We'll be back next week for episode 4. So for Brittany, for Simon, for Hawk, for Erik, I'm Julian. Have a good night and live long and prosper.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.